One of our regulars, Nounix, said he's been having a problem. He's got some single tracks, stereo tracks, that he wants to bring into Logic, and he wants to be able to speed them up, slow them down, and stuff like that, fix their tempo. And he's having trouble getting the smart tempo to do that. Right, now the thing is, this video is called Smart Tempo versus Flex because Smart Tempo and Flex have a crossover where they share a similar thing, which is the analysis of the beats in the music, but they both do something different. So let me just do this. He sent me the files, right? So let me get the files first. Okay. Here's the 4 tracks he's having trouble with, and they're in MP3 format. So look, check this out. Before we begin, if I go to Logic, and if we go to Project Settings, Smart Tempo, set imported audio files to, they can be set so they automatically get flexed with either flex just on or on and line bars or on and line bars and beats. That is set to off at the moment, so when I bring these files in they won't be automatically analysed and flexed. Right, that's the first thing. The tempo is the default 120, and look, Smart Tempo is in keep. Okay, so let's bring in one of these files. Okay, this one he's having some trouble with apparently. So I'll bring it in. I'm going to drop it at bar 3. There it is. There's the tempo line. Fixed at 120 because we've got this set to keep and the tempo is solid at 120. Now this bit of audio has got a fairly consistent beat, but it will have timing variations. Now here's the thing. If we double click, this is it in the track or region edit, and in this editor here we can go to edit and we can do analyze audio for flex editing. Now here's the thing, the difference between flex and Smart Tempo, which this file hasn't been analyzed yet, is this. Smart Tempo is used to drag the grid to fit the beats of the music, but the music stays at its normal tempo with any timing variations. So Smart Tempo is used to drag Logic's grid to fit the beats of the music. Flex is used to drag the beats of the music to fit the grid of Logic. But they both share the same similar analysis, right? So look, if we go to Smart Tempo for this file and analyze it, there's the analysis. Okay, and notice it's done the analysis in constant tempo, but we know, or I know, that this file doesn't really have constant tempo because it wasn't done with a drum machine. So at first, look, the darker orange and bright orange lines, which are these are supposed to be the start of each bar, they're on the money for each of the bumps in the music. These are the beats of the music. But as we work our way down, they start to slip, look, and they're getting off the bumps until they slip right out towards the end. Okay, that's because it was analysed at constant tempo. Reanalyze it at variable, and all those lines just shift a bit. So now if we go down the song, every one of these big quarter beats has got a line right on it, right? So that's the first thing. You can analyze this in variable tempo to get it on the money. If the audio doesn't have a fixed tempo, like it wasn't done with a sequencer and a drum machine, right? Okay. Now that gives us these analysis lines, okay? And the orange ones are what Logic thinks is the start of a bar. Now what we do know is that these lines are right on every quarter beat. leaving aside whether the orange lines have been put correctly at the start of a bar, every quarter beat has got a line on it accurately. So if we put the playhead somewhere like here and hit play in the analysis thing here with a click, boom, that's actually the first beat of the bar. So it's got the quarter beat lines right on the money all the way down the song, but it simply thinks that the start of each bar is back a quarter beat from what it really is. That's probably because there's a little fill at the beginning of the music, right, which isn't a full bar in length. So this is actually the start of a bar, the second beat. So the grid fits all the bumps. To move the bright orange bar lines up, we just go to the quarter beat line that actually is the start of a bar and set that as a downbeat, and every other orange line will move up one quarter beat. Or if that was the start of a bar and I clicked it, they'd all move back one quarter beat, etc. Right? So boom. Now the bright orange lines are on the actual first beat of each bar, and every quarter beat has a line spot on it. Okay. Now here's where the difference comes in between smart tempo in its full use and flex. This smart tempo, it's what its real job is to drag Logic's grid to fit the bars and the beats of the original music. So the original music can keep its varying tempo, and Logic's bar and beat lines will be dragged to match that. And we do that with, look, edit, apply the region tempo to the project tempo. This appears a line downbeat, that's the orange downbeat, the first beat of a bar, to the nearest bar line, which means this piece of audio will move up or back to line that up on a bar. And if there are other regions that are synced to this piece of audio, move those the same amount. Well, there aren't, so I won't tick that. Apply. Boom. And it puts all those tempo changes in. Right? So I go to any bar and it's the start of a bar. Right? Okay. But what we've done there is we've used the smart tempo analysis to drag Logic's grid to match the music. The music still has its varying tempo, which you can see from all these tempo changes that have been applied to Logic to drag its bar and beat lines onto the money. The audio still has its variations in timing. But the problem is with this is that we can't now go and speed up or slow down this piece of audio, because if I go to speed the tempo up, which bit of the tempo am I changing? They're all different tempo changes across there. So that's not what you do. Let me undo that. If you want to fix this piece of audio so that you can speed it up and slow it down, we know it's roughly 123 beats per minute. This is at 120. For that we use flex. Flex. So what I do is I go here with this bit of audio and I switch on flex and align bars. That will drag these bars and beats, it'll drag them to snap to the bars and beats of Logic's grid, but Logic's grid will stay constant at 120. The audio will be moved to fit the grid rather than the grid being moved to fit the audio like the smart tempo does, right? So on align bars, let's zoom in so you can see this happen a bit. Right, ready? Here we go. On align bars for that bit of audio, boom. Oh, there you go. And the flex does a similar analysis to smart tempo. It's exactly the same analysis. It's looking for the quarter beats, right? And now if I go to any quarter beat, there'll be a quarter beat snapped to it in the music. So all these quarter beats have been dragged to their nearest, well, it's on and line bars at the moment. So what it thinks is the start of a bar will be dragged to a bar. So it thinks that's the start of a bar, that bump there. Which it isn't, right? That's the start of a bar there. Right? If we switch on flex so we see the lines, that's the start of a bar there, that bump. Right? Now notice it's when I move the playhead to where that actually, look, that's the start of a bar in Logic's grid, but the third beat there, first, second, third beat, is actually the first beat of a bar of the music. And if we look, when I move the playhead, look where it's moved it to here, because this follows it in smart tempo, it's an orange line. So the analysis is right that that is a downbeat, that's the first beat of a bar, but it should be on 14 or 15. So all you do is set this to beat and move this up 1, 2 beats, and now that downbeat in the music there that's been analysed with the orange line, right? We moved it up so it's on the beat, on the downbeat, the first beat of the bar. It's now snapped to Logic's grid on a bar line. Everything else just snaps to the grid because the flex is dragging that audio around to do that. Now you can, that's just snapping the bars. So the orange line to bar 14. And then the next orange line there, okay, to this bar 15. Don't worry that these numbers for the bars here don't line up with these numbers there, right? So we're only snapping the first beat of each bar. There, there, there. But the quarter beats aren't snapped. To do the quarter beats, we do on bars and beats. And you'll see the little quarter beats on these lines in between. Just shift subtly to snap better to the quarter beats, like there, between 12 and 13, for example. There we go. Boom. And it just gives it that extra snap. So now it's really locked in. This is now been time stretched, basically, to snap to Logic's grid exactly at 120 beats per minute. Like that, right? Right? Now I can speed it up or slow it down. Yeah? Yeah? So that's how you do it. This smart tempo analysis just helps us to get the bar lines and the grid lined up right. But the flex is what manipulates the audio to drag its bar and beat lines to match Logic's grid at a fixed tempo. And that now can be speeded up, slowed down, put 20 tempo you want. So I'll put it to 125, which is some of it's white, some of it's blue, and that means I think the blue is that that audio's been shortened to make the quarter beats fit, and that's been lengthened. I think it's that way or the other way around, doesn't matter. Okay, so it's a bit fast. Let's make it 123. Okay, so that's now right on the money. That is snapped to the grid. That music has been tempo fixed to 123. Okay, now if you wanted to crossfade another track, let me just turn off flex so we don't see it for a minute. Well, actually, you know what, I'll leave it on. Okay, we're going to bring in another bit of audio. Here we go. So let's bring in another one. Okay. Let's say track 2 here. Now I can bring it under this one, but it's probably better to do it off. All right, yeah, I'll do it underneath. Here we go. Drag it in, and I'll drop it at bar 3. Right. Now that shouldn't have done anything to this one. This one should be on the money still. If I go to a bar, it should be the start of a bar of the music. Yeah, it is, but this is underneath now. So let me mute this one. Now this one needs to be analysed. Okay, we go to a bit, right, double click, analyse it. Same thing, right? Same thing. It's done it at a constant tempo, but this is an old disco track. By the sound of it, it's... That's Supernature by Cerrone. Okay, so it's tried to analyse it at a constant tempo. Well, it's not. That the lines are out with the beats. Yeah, they're not in. So let's analyse it again at variable tempo. Right, there you go. Now the lines are on the beats at the start, the middle, and all the way down. There's a line on every quarter beat accurately. Now the next question is, has it put the orange downbeat in the right place? One way to find out, just go to here and let's see what it does. No, it's not. I think that's the first beat of a bar in the middle there. Just try it from here. Hang on. Yeah, is it there, the first beat of the bar? Hang on. No, is it there? Yeah, so that's actually the first beat of the bar. The grid fits. We just need to make these first, second, third beats in every bar the actual downbeat. So set that as a downbeat and all these bright orange downbeat lines will be shifted across. Boom. Now there are the start of bars. Okay, right, done. So now we just get this track here and we put it to flex on and align bars. Now it's doing this analysis again, right, with flex, but that's just the flex analysis, but it's taking it from this. It's related, let's say, right? So we got the downbeats right there. That means that when we go into this, let's close that. When we go into this second track and look at it, zoom in. If I turn flex off so it's visually off, it's on both bits of audio, but it's visually off. If I get this bit of audio move it, see the orange lines? Can you just see them there? They're quite faint, but they're there. Look. See the orange lines there? The downbeats. So that orange line is right on bar 65. So that should be the start of a bar. Which it is. Now let's go back to the track above. Touch it. You see the orange lines. They're still on the bar lines as they should be. Yeah. Although this track has a fill in it somewhere that's half a bar long, so it goes out, but okay, so now they're lined up. They both start on a bar, that both of them have the orange lines on bars, the start of a bar of the music, right? And they're both locked to the grid of logic at 1, 2, 3. So now you can do what you want, blending the two together, move them around and get them to blend right if you're trying to layer them. Touch the creatures down below. Yeah, so if you wanted to get, yeah, they're synced together now. Okay, and then so if you were doing this for some reason of a DJ set or something, if I now put it into bar, snap to absolute value, I can snap this along and I know it's going to be snapping to the bars to the end of this track like that, say, and I could do a crossfade between the two tracks, right? So fade that one out, fade that one in, and a bit more, and do it like that. There you go. That's what you do. I'll get a copyright strike unless I keep stopping and starting it. And Supernature's fading up in sync. Yeah, okay, so that's the difference. Smart tempo is the same analysis as flex does to find the bars and beats, in other words, the quarter beats. But the smart tempo gives us the opportunity to put the start of each bar bright orange lines in, which we see when we go to drag it around, with flex visually turned off. Otherwise we see the flex lines, right? But the smart tempo analysis is not the same as applying smart tempo to Logic's tempo. If you apply the smart tempo to Logic's tempo, then Logic's grid is being dragged to fit the music. If you use flex, the music is being dragged to fit Logic's grid at a constant tempo. And then you can speed things up, slow things down, crossfade them, sync them, do what you like. Does that help Nounix? Yeah, they're all going to do this. They're all going to do it. Look, let me, because just to show you, because he gave me more than one file. Let me drag this out. And let's just do another one. Okay, we've done track 1, track 2. Let's do track 3. Drag it into a new track. Boom. There it is. Same thing, same process. Double click. Analyze for smart tempo. Right, I don't need to look at this. I just know I need to do it again at variable tempo, because it won't be a modern track done with drum machines absolutely to a fixed non-varying tempo. There it is. Right, and now look, you can go along it any way you want, and every bump, every quarter beat has got a grid line snapped really on the money. Right, now the next thing is, has it put the orange beat lines correctly? Well, the downbeat like to show the start of a bar. Go to here, let's hear it. I'm not sure that's right. Let's go and play it from here. That's the downbeat there. Boom. Let's try it now. Okay, done. So now all we have to do is go here, that's the selected region, and switch on and align bars. Now that analysis happens, that's Flex taking these lines here and using them to stretch the audio so that all those lines fit the lines of Logic's grid at the fixed tempo. Now that just leaves one thing. Has it moved it to put the quarter beats on quarter beat? The bar lines, the orange bar lines on bar lines. Let's find out. No, it hasn't. So just move it up. Oh, now we need to snap. This is more difficult. Let's go with division, because we need to get that orange line right on the money. Here we go. That's an orange line. There it is. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's not quite on bar 425. Zoom in a bit more. See the orange line? It's not there. So division is not right. Let's go with ticks. This is not very ideal, this. But something like that seems about right. And then if I zoom out and look, oh, no, it's out. What is that about? Is there something? Wait a minute. No. That one, that orange line's there, but that one isn't. See that one there? It's not there. Why not? Hang on. No. This one is giving us a problem. What's all that about? Hang on. Let's put this on align bars and beats. Let's see what's happening now. There you go. Done. So all we had to do is drag the quarter beats to the quarter beat lines, and it then made the bar lines line up. What was happening was, if I put it just to on and line bars, if one bar lines up, they don't necessarily all line up. But bringing on line bars and beats, and now it's right on the money. Here we go. Yeah, right, look. Yeah, that's right on the money, right? So again, there's another track that you can bring into your mix, and it will blend. Oh, wait, no, let me undo that. Before I do that, set this to bar, and just it'll move by bars. Boom, 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 boom. I know it'll be on a bar when I hit like there or there. Yeah, it's going to be on a bar because we moved it. We got the orange bar lines on a bar, and now we're just moving it by bars. Snap. So if I go to any bar, it will be the first beat of a bar, unless there's a fill that's less than a complete cycle of one or more bars, like a half a bar fill or something. Then it will be out by half a bar. Okay, and then these two could be crossfaded. Yeah, just fade that one up, fade that one down, however you want to do it. Boom, boom, boom. There's your crossfade. Now it doesn't mean that they're going to pitch right. To get them to pitch, you need to adjust the transpose and the fine tuning if you want to try and pitch them the same. They won't change time. They'll just get higher or lower in pitch, right? Okay, that's that one. Let's do one more because let's just show all 4 files that he sent. So here comes the new one. Boom. Oh, well, I want that on. I want that closed. Here comes the new one then. The final one. Track 4. On its own track. There it is. Same thing. Flex follows off. Double click. Double click. Analyze. Let me hang on. Just a sec. Right. Okay. It's the same procedure, right? We know this is going to be wrong. Constant. If it's an old track that isn't done to a drum machine, constant ain't going to be right. So variable. Analyze it again. Now, if we look down the track, look, the lines are on the quarter beats anywhere, whether it's earlier in the track, in the middle, yeah, boom, 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 right? Okay, so now that just leaves the question, are the orange lines on the bars? So let's put one in and have a listen, or maybe you should try further at the start or something right around here. Let's try it there. Here we go, there's something coming in. That's got less volume and something comes in here, right? Let's hear it. No, that's the first beat of the bar, so set that as the downbeat. Here we go. Right, done. So now all we do is the same as before. There's the piece of audio there. And we just put on line bars and beats. Boom. and the flex is taking that analysis and using it to stretch the quarter beats and whether they're a start of a bar or a middle of a bar quarter beat, just to snap them to the grid of logic, which is remaining constant. Hang on a sec. I just needed to smoke there. Right, okay, so now let's just go in and look at it and make sure, you know, that it is actually done it. Close that. Zoom in. Now, those orange lines with flex off visually, it's on in the background, but we just turned visual flex off so we don't see it. Touch on it. Yeah, the orange line is on the bars. So there you go. Bar 700 should be the start of a bar. Never forget those endless years. Done. Yeah, there's all 4 tracks. So now you can move them around, crossfade them, layer them, do what you want. All you have to do is, once you're sure those orange lines are on bar lines, set this to bar, snap regions to absolute value. Then when you move it around, it will be moving by bars. The orange lines, wherever you move it, if I go, I don't even have to look. If I just go like that and move it up under that one, if I zoom in, I know the orange lines will be on bars because we had them at bars before. and we just moved it by the value of bars, snapped by the value of bars. So look, there we can see bars. Okay, let's grab it. Orange lines on the bars, right? See them? Snap that way 1 bar, snap that way 1 bar, right? That's the start of a bar. And now these 2 tracks are layered, and bing bang bong, and then these other ones should be on the money as well. Let me just check that. Yeah, they're on the bars. Let's just zoom out so I know where I am. Is that the first track? No, there's the first track. Let's check that. Orange lines are on the bars there. Zoom in a bit just to see that. Yeah, they're on the bars. So now they're all on the bars with the orange lines. They've all been flexed to fit Logic's grid. They're all exactly the same fixed tempo. Now, as long as I keep this in bar and snap regions to absolute value, I could put them all underneath each other, and they should all be right. Yeah, orange lines on the bars. Move out past that fade. Yep, orange lines on the bars. Yep, orange lines on the bars. Yep, orange lines on the bars. So now they're all in sync, all playing, starting on a bar at this point. Yeah, and that is how you do that. That's the difference between flex and smart tempo. All it is the smart tempo analysis helps us to establish those first beats of the bars, and then flex, when it drags those quarter beats around to snap them to Logic's grid at a fixed tempo, it uses this. That's all it is. All right. Hope that's. But you're not applying this tempo of this varying bit of audio to Logic's tempo. You're keeping Logic's tempo fixed. And now that it's fixed, all those tracks layered, they're all in sync. They're all starting on a bar, wherever the bar is, whichever bar I go to. I can slow them down, or speed them up to mental speed. Or they'll just follow it around, right? Okay, there you go. I hope that's useful, Nounix, and anyone else who's watching. Just to recap, finally. Smart tempo, if we apply the smart tempo to Logic's tempo line, then smart tempo is making Logic's grid drag to the tempo of the music, to fit the tempo of the music. But if we use flex, then the lines of the music are being dragged to fit Logic's grid. It's just the opposite way around in either case, right? All right, see ya.